Give it 1 second. All right, and we are live. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our Google Classroom parent session. We are really lucky to be joined tonight by Ms. Becca Cancelosi, who is a 4th grade teacher at Indian Lane. This is Dr. Cohen speaking, Director of Technology, Innovation, and STEM Programs. But the presentation tonight is going to be led by Ms. Cancelosi, and this is for parents of students who are in grades 3 to 5 who are using Google Classroom. And just as a reminder, this, as well as the sessions from last night, will be recorded and placed on the parent portal of the website, so you will have access to them by the end of the week. And with that, I am going to hand it over to Ms. Cancelosi.
Thanks, Casey. Hi, everyone. I'm glad that you could join us tonight, and I'm excited to teach you a little bit about Google Classroom. Students in grades 3, 4, and 5 will be using it. And while there is a little bit of a learning curve, Google Classroom is really a great platform. So I'll show you the ins and outs, and hopefully by the end of the night, you'll feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So to start, we're going to talk about guardian emails. So as a parent, you can be attached to your student's account as a guardian and receive daily or weekly emails updating you on your child's progress. So I'll show you how to confirm the emails and how to choose the frequency. The first thing you're going to do is log into your email. You're going to look for an email from the teacher. So the teacher may not have sent out Google Classroom Guardian emails yet. I personally waited until after this presentation so you'd know what to look for, but your child's teacher will probably send you a Google Classroom email summary that looks like this, and you should see your child's name in the subject line of the email. When you open the email, it'll look like this. It'll say the teacher invited you as a guardian in Google Classroom. Then you should see your child's name and you can accept it hitting the blue button. It'll ask you to confirm your email, so you'll have to accept it again. I think if you hit switch account, you can choose a different email for your guardian email, but it's probably easier if you want a different email to email your child's teacher to have the email switched. When you confirm it, it'll ask you to choose the frequency. So by hitting the little arrow next to where it says weekly, you can choose to receive an email once a week, once a day, or to not get summaries at all. This is what an email will look like. So I chose daily, so at the top it says daily summary for your child's name, and then it'll say student work. So if the teacher assigns a due date and your child does not turn in the assignment, it'll say something is missing. So in this case, it says the Monday math assignment is missing. And if there's nothing missing, it'll just tell you what's coming up, what's due in the next few days, and it'll show updates and announcements the teacher has made at the bottom of the email. The next thing we're going to talk about is tabs. There are 3 tabs on Google Classroom. There's the Stream tab, the Classwork tab, and the People tab. The first tab is the Stream. This is where you'll see the banner for the classroom, and your teacher will post some announcements. So in this case, I said, "Hi, happy Monday, welcome to 4th grade," and the students can comment on that. Sometimes the students can't comment on the stream because it does get a little bit cluttered. So it's often also a place where teachers will post announcements like the Zoom link for the day or a schedule or another important update. And then at the bottom on the iPad, you can see that the 3 tabs are at the bottom. So it says Stream on the left, Classwork in the middle, and People on the right. So you can just choose which tab you want at that bar in the bottom. This is what the Classwork tab looks like. Your teacher may have posted headings. In this case, this classroom has important resources as a heading and ELA assignments as a heading. And then underneath those headings are assignments and materials for the child to view. This is where your child will look at all of their assignments, and it's the most organized way to look at what the teacher has posted on the classroom. The last tab is the People tab. If you click on the People tab, you'll be able to see teachers that are attached to that classroom and other classmates. The next thing we're going to talk about is navigation, how to move around in the app, looking at materials and assignments and whether things are complete or incomplete. So there are 2 different types of things a teacher can post. We can post materials, which are things for your student to reference, but don't necessarily require them to work on something and turn it in. And then there's an assignment, which is something that's posted that your child needs to complete and submit. So the top icon is a material, and it looks like a piece of paper with a bookmark on it. Materials are normally used for things like schedules, or I posted my Zoom link as a material so that students can see it. The assignment icon looks more like a clipboard with writing on it. So that's how you can tell the difference between an assignment that needs to be turned in and a material that's there as a resource. Next thing you can see is what assignments have been completed or incomplete. So each classroom has its own color that goes with the banner. So in this case, the banner was purple, so all of the icons are purple. The banner is blue, the icons will be blue, or whatever color is chosen. So then you can see that incomplete assignments, new assignments that are posted, are in whatever color matches the theme of the classroom. Once the assignment is completed and turned in, it becomes grayed out. So if you look at the classwork tab, you can easily see which assignments are completed and turned in, and the icon is gray, and which assignments still need to be completed or are upcoming, and the icon is still in very colorful. The next thing we'll talk about is working on Google Classroom. So we'll talk about working using the classwork tab, filtering by topic if that's more helpful for you, or using the to-do list. I personally prefer to work right from the classwork tab. A lot of the teachers have worked really hard to organize the assignments in a way that makes it easy to work from this tab. In this case, the classroom is organized with important resources at the top and language arts assignments, and then you can even see that the assignments are named Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it even has the date next to it to help your student know exactly which assignment is for which day. Alternatively, the teacher may organize it with headings by day. So the heading might say Monday, and then the assignments would be underneath, language arts, math, all of the assignments for the day. But whichever way the teacher organizes it, it will be easy and organized for your student to follow right from the classwork tab. Another option they have is if they click those 3 lines at the top of the classwork tab, they can filter it by topic. So once you click the 3 lines, this menu pops up that says filter by topic, and you can see a list of all the topics that are posted on the classwork tab. And when you click the topic, it will only show you assignments underneath that topic. So if you don't want to look at the whole classwork tab, you might filter it by topic and look only at Monday's assignments. The third option is using the to-do list. The to-do list sometimes gets difficult if you have a lot of classes, as you can see here, but the to-do list will list all of the activities that still need to be completed. To find the to-do list, you'll click the 3 lines to the left on the classwork tab, and then underneath the list of all the classes your child is enrolled in, there's a to-do button at the bottom. You'll click that and it'll bring up a list of all the assignments that are still need to be completed, but sometimes it does get messy if there's a lot of classes. The next thing we'll talk about is opening assignments. So we'll use the Google app, a Google form, or sometimes you might get assignments that use an Apple app, such as Pages or Keynote. Opening with Google, once you know how to do it, you're able to edit the assignments, but it's important to make sure that you also, in addition to having the Google Classroom app, that you also have the Google Slides app and the Google Docs app downloaded on your iPad. This will allow you to open the assignment in the app, which then lets you edit that assignment in the app. So the first thing you'll want to do if you're opening a Google assignment is you'll want to select the assignment you want to complete by clicking on the name. The next thing you'll do is read the teacher instructions. We're working hard to make sure that the instructions are helpful, so it's important to get in the habit of reading those instructions before clicking on the arrow at the bottom. So when you first click on it, your view will be like this. It'll have just the title, the instructions, and then it'll show your work at the bottom. And then you can see that little arrow right next to where it says your work. So you'll click that arrow to show the assignment. When you click the arrow, your view changes and it shows your work. The up arrow has now turned into a down arrow. So if you want to look back at the instructions or the title of the assignment, you can click the down arrow to go back to your view from before. But in this view, you can see the attachment of the assignment. In this case, it's a Google slide, and I can tell because it has the yellow icon next to it. You can also see the add attachment buttons or the turn in button and the private comment. For now, because we just want to open the assignment, we're going to click right on that link with the yellow icon that says Christine Johnston sample presentation. This name will have your child's name and the name of the assignment. When you first open it, it'll look like this. It will show up, it will look like you can edit it, but you can't edit it. When you try and click on the text, nothing will happen. If you click on the pen, it will let you write on top of the assignment, but then it turns it into your teacher as a second copy of the assignment, and it won't let you edit anything. So sometimes it's difficult to do your work this way if your teacher has provided boxes where you need to type. In order to edit the assignment, you want to click the corner, the box with the arrow in the very corner. That's going to tell Google that you want to open this in Google Slides, or if it's a Google Doc, in the app that will allow you to edit it. So when you click on that box with the arrow, it'll open it in the correct place, in this case, in Google Slides. And now when I click on the text, I can type on top of it. So if your teacher asks a question, you can respond using the keyboard on the iPad. You can also insert pictures and other things. All the editing that you could do on a computer, you can also do on an iPad once you open it in Slides. So if you're feeling frustrated and it looks like this and you can't edit it, look for that box in the corner with the arrow. The next thing your teacher might post is a Google form. Google Forms are helpful for surveys, or there might be assessments. So a Google form will look more like this. It will look the same as the other assignment with the Google Slides, but instead of the attachment having your child's name with a Google Slide name, it'll attach a form and it'll look like a link. So you're going to click the link to open the form. And then it'll ask you if you have Google Chrome installed on the iPad. It'll offer you the option to open with it, but I actually just chose Safari, which is a native app on the iPads. So you have to tell it, I'd like to open this form in this web browser, in this case, Safari. And then the form will pop up and it'll look the same way it does on the internet because you're opening it in Safari, which is on the internet. So you'll be able to type to answer all of the questions. But Google Forms, unlike Google Slides will save as you work. If you type a few words, it'll save it. Google Forms does not save your work as you go. So if you answer 2 questions and then navigate away from it onto something else, when you come back to it, it'll be blank again. So if you're assigned to Google Form, you want to make sure that you complete the whole form and hit the submit button at the bottom all in one sitting. And Google Forms can have different types of questions. The top question on this form is a short answer where you can type in an answer. The middle question is a multiple choice. And then the one at the bottom with the squares is a select all that apply. So you can choose multiple boxes if there are multiple answers that are correct for that one. So on a Google form, make sure that you answer all of the questions and then hit submit. Once you hit submit, it will send your Google form to the teacher, and then you have to hit done in the top left corner in order to go back to Google Classroom. Once you hit done, it will take you back to the assignment, and then because it's an assignment, you need to turn it in, but in this case, the button will say mark as done. This will let the teacher know that you finished the Google form. And when you click Mark as Done, the icon on your Google Classroom will turn gray so that you can see that you've completed that activity. The final option for assignments is with Apple. Because the students have iPads, they have the ability to use Apple Pages for their assignments. There are a few extra steps to open with Apple than there is with Google Slides, but there are a lot of capabilities that Apple Pages has that you can't do in Slides because they're on iPads. So the first couple steps to opening with Apple is exactly the same as you would on Google Slides. You're going to select the assignment that you want to complete by clicking on the name. Then you'll see the instructions the same way you would for another assignment. You'll click on the arrow the same way that you would for Google. The arrow will show you the same view, but in this case, when I look at the name of the document, I can see dot pages at the end of it. This lets me know that the assignment is not a Google assignment and that is it is built in Pages. You're going to click on the attachment the same way that you would. But this time, Google tells you there's an error. At the bottom, it says something went wrong. Try again later. However, this is not true. The error pops up just because Google doesn't know how to open the document. It's not a Google document, so Google is confused with where to open it. But you notice that square with the arrow in the corner just like before? You're going to click that button again to help Google tell where to open it. When you hit that, Google tries to open it in Google Drive. So it's important that you also have the Google Drive app downloaded on your iPad. Because Google is trying to open it in Google Drive, it gives you a second error message. It tells you something went wrong. Because Google Drive can't open the Pages app, you need the Pages app to open it. So ignore the error message and click the 3 dots in the corner. When you click the 3 dots in the corner, you'll get a menu. One of the options on the menu is Open In. This is where you'll tell Google and tell the iPad how you want to open this assignment. When you click on Open In, you'll see an option to save to files, and then you'll see a bunch of icons for your apps on your iPad. You want to use your finger to scroll to the left and right on that horizontal list of apps and find the one that says Copy to Pages. Click Copy to Pages. And then if you've never opened Pages before, you might have to hit continue a few times. It'll ask you to get started with Pages. But once you hit continue, it'll open the assignment in Pages and you can edit it. You can click on the text and type the same way you would on Google Slides. So while it has a couple extra steps to open in Pages, Pages is capable of a lot of things and is a great resource for teachers to use. Once students start remembering the steps, which will help them go through slowly throughout the year, it'll be much easier than it feels right now. The next thing we're going to go through is submitting assignments. We'll talk about submitting each of the 3 assignments I just went through. So after you finish in Google Slides and you complete your assignment, you'll open back up the Google Classroom app. Then you'll find the same assignment you just worked on and click the up arrow one more time. When you click the up arrow, you'll see that Turn In button. Any of the work you did in Google Slides has automatically saved. So that one attachment that's there is the attachment your teacher sent you and the one you worked on. All the work has saved without you hitting the Save button. So all you have to do is hit the Turn In button. In this case, it's purple because that's the theme of the classroom. Yours might be a different color. Once you hit the Turn In button, it will ask you to confirm the turn in, and then you know that you've turned it in because the Turn In button has turned into an Unsubmit button. So that sent the assignment to your teacher, and now the icon should have turned gray. To submit with Google Forms, we already went over that. You're just going to mark it as done after you hit submit. Because it opens the Google form right in the Google Classroom app, you don't have to navigate to as many places. For submitting with Apple, again, has a couple of extra steps. So you're going to, after you finish working on your assignment, you're going to go back to Google Classroom. You'll find the assignment you were just working on and click the up arrow to show the assignment. It'll look very similar to the way it did with Google, but in this case, because Pages is downloaded on your iPad and it's not in the Google Cloud, you have to attach the assignment. So you're going to click the Add Attachment button, which is right above the Turn In. When you hit Add Attachment, it'll give you a menu. You're going to attach a file. So you want to click the third one down, which says File. It should be, if you just worked on it, in your recent documents. So when I clicked File, it was the first thing that popped up. I clicked on that picture, the icon of the assignment, and then it took a second to load, but then you'll see 2 copies of the assignment. When you work on it, it has the same name, so when you attach it, it has the same name. The top one is blank and was the one your teacher posted. The bottom one is what you just attached and has all of your work in it. So once you see 2, you know that you've attached your work, and then you can click the purple or whatever color your classroom is button that says Turn In. When you hit Turn In, it'll again ask you to confirm and tell you you're sending 2 attachments. So you'll hit Turn In one more time. And then you'll know it's submitted because the Turn In button now becomes an Unsubmit button. The next thing we'll talk about is communication, how to leave a private comment and how to see your teacher feedback. So there are 2 different types of comments on Google. Some of them just say comments. These can be seen by everyone in the class and they don't go to the teacher's email. So if the teacher's not looking for comments on that assignment, sometimes they can be missed. A private comment is in the same place where you find the attachment by hitting that up arrow. And a private comment can only be seen by the teacher. And it goes directly to the teacher's email as if you had directly emailed the teacher. The teacher can then send you a private comment back, and if your child is checking their email, they'll see the private comment in their email as well. So this is a really good place to ask questions about an assignment because it goes directly to the teacher. It goes to the teacher's email, and if the teacher is checking their email regularly, as almost all of us are, then they'll be able to see it and respond more quickly than if you use the public comment space where they have to be looking for it. So again, the private comment is in the same place where you would click on an assignment and then click the up arrow right near where it says Turn In. So to check for feedback, if you open up an assignment that you've already completed or even one that you're working on, you might see this one private comment under your work. If you click on that up arrow, you'll be able to see the comment that the teacher has left or any comments that you have left. Feedback that teachers write is also sent directly to the student's Rose Tree Media email account. So if they're checking their email, they can see which assignments have been commented on. But you can also click on any previous assignment to check for feedback. You can also respond to the feedback by using the private comment feature right underneath. Thank you so much. I know that this was probably a lot of information, but the teachers will work very hard with your students to help them to be proficient at Google Classroom. And this again will be recorded, so if you want to watch it later, it's available for you. I hope that you learned something new and it's going to be a great year.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cancelosi. This was absolutely amazing, so thorough. And as we have said, don't worry, there's a lot to take in. You'll be able to go back and watch it as many times as you'd like. And your teachers are here to help you as well as the technology department. So thanks again. We are going to end this session and I hope you all have a great night and a great year ahead. And thank you again, Ms. Cancelosi.